My name is Jordan Price. I was 34 in 2021, working the night shift at a roadside emergency hotline call center in Bangor, Maine. It wasn't glamorous. No windows, fluorescent lights, coffee that tasted like burned plastic. Just endless ringing phones in the dead hours of the night. Usually, we got drunks. Car breakdowns. People locked out of homes. Every call different, but predictable. But on November 9th, at 3:14 a.m., the phone rang and everything changed. Not the emergency line. Not the main board. Line 7. Line 7 was dead. Physically disconnected. We used it for training, but it wasn't hooked to anything. It rang anyway. I stared at it, waiting for it to stop. It didn't. I picked it up. "Dispatch, what is your emergency?" A voice answered, but not clearly. The connection sounded wet, like the speaker was underwater or too close to the receiver. "Don't hang up." Not a request. A warning. I tried trace protocol, but the screen didn't recognize the call. The system froze. Just like that. Silent, dead, blank. "What's your location?" I asked. That's when I heard it. Not traffic. Not wind. Breathing. Slow. Measured. Like someone standing in a dark room that felt too small. Then. "We're still down here." Cold sweat hit instantly. Something primal. This wasn't a prank. Something in that voice knew I was alone. "What do you mean, down here?" I asked. A pause. Then the voice changed. Not tone, direction. Like there was more than one person speaking from the same throat. They closed the door. They turned off the lights. But we still have the phones. I muted the line and turned to my coworker, Trent. He wasn't at his desk. Not in the bathroom. Not logged out. Not in the break room. His headset was still warm. The call hissed quietly in my ear. Then, "Do you hear footsteps yet?" I did. Not behind me. Below me. Like someone walking under the floor. Except, there was no lower level. There wasn't supposed to be. I backed away. The phone cord pulled tight. I didn't remember standing up, but I was already halfway to the door. Then the voice whispered, not distant anymore, right in my ear, through a dead phone line. "You shouldn't leave." He didn't. The line went dead. I left anyway. Next day. No record of the call. No log. No audio file. No Trent. HR said he never clocked in, but his car was still in the lot. 3 weeks later, they tore out the floors to run fiber optic cable. Under the concrete, they found another room. No lights. No furniture. One chair and a phone. Still plugged in. Still working. Line 7. Here's the one thing I still wonder whenever I think about that night. If they were already down there before we found them, how many others are still beneath us, waiting for the line to ring? My name is Rebecca Tate. I was 29 in 2014, working nights as a nurse at Willow Pines Assisted Living, right outside Akron, Ohio. It wasn't a bad job. Quiet. Routine. The kind of place where you learn the names of people waiting to die. The night was October 21st. Leaves outside were already dead, curled, brittle, clinging to the sidewalk the way the patients clung to the last pieces of themselves. We had 41 residents, but only one mattered that night. Mr. Ellison, room 312, terminal dementia. Barely spoke. Stared at corners like he was listening to something we couldn't hear. At 2:08 a.m., the call light from his room came on. Not unusual, except he hadn't pressed it in 6 months. Not once. When I entered, he was sitting upright, eyes clear, looking at me. No, through me. "Close the window," he said. The window was already closed. His voice was steady, too steady. Dementia patients, they don't come back like that. Not suddenly. Not sharp. "What do you hear?" I asked. He slowly raised his hand, thin, shaking. and pointed at the corner of the room. Not the ceiling, not the floor, the corner itself, as if the air there had weight. "They're asking for me," he whispered. Then the temperature changed. Drops in hospitals are normal, but this wasn't a draft. It was intentional. You could feel something enter the room. The corner darkened. Not shadow, absence. Like the light was being swallowed rather than blocked. And then I heard it, not a voice, not breathing, something shifting. Like bones moving where there shouldn't be bones. The overhead light flickered once, twice. Then Mr. Ellison spoke again, but his voice was wrong, layered. I told him no. His lips moved, but something else was speaking with him. The call lights for 3 other rooms went on at the same time. All dead patients. All had died in the last week. All in room 312 before they were moved. Something brushed past me, cold enough to sting, heading for the door. I grabbed Mr. Ellison's hand. It felt like ice. "What's happening?" I asked. He looked at me, and for one moment, one impossible second, his eyes were the eyes of a terrified child. "They don't like to wait." The lights went out. He flatlined 2 minutes later. No medical cause. The corner of the room never brightened again. We closed it off. Renovation, they said. But here's the part that still eats at me. If something was waiting for him, who are they waiting for now? My name is Daniel Rucker. I was 32 in 2019, working night shifts at a gas station outside Tonopah, Nevada, middle of the desert, miles of nothing. Old Route 95 cutting through the dark like a scar. Most nights were empty. 1 or 2 truckers. Maybe a lost tourist. Sometimes silence so thick you could hear your own heartbeat in it. But the night was July 3rd to 2nd, 13 a.m. When everything went wrong. The heat never fully left that day. Even after the sun died. The ground still felt warm, like it remembered light. The air tasted like dust. The kind of night where the stars looked too close, like they were leaning in, listening. I was restocking cigarettes when I saw headlights approach. Slow. Too slow. Like the driver wasn't sure if the wheels were touching the ground. Car stops. Engine stays running. Driver never gets out. No movement. No sound. I step outside. Dry wind. Static air. I call out, "You all right?" Nothing. I get closer. The car is old, 70s era sedan, something that belonged in a scrapyard. Dust all over it. Except the windshield. The windshield was clean. Like it had been washed minutes ago. I lean down to look. Driver's seat is empty. Car's running. Radio on low. Some old preacher's voice whispering about the ones who walk in the spaces between. There are handprints on the inside of the glass, but not normal ones. Too many fingers. Too long. Pressed from the passenger side. Crawling toward the driver's seat. Then I heard the ding of the store's entrance bell. But I was outside, alone. I turned back, and the lights inside were flickering. Something was moving down the snack aisle. Wrong height. Wrong shape. Shoulders too narrow. Head tilted like it was learning how to balance it. I froze. Couldn't even hide the way my breath turned sharp and shallow. It moved past the security mirror, and I saw it clearly for 1 second. Not a face. Just stretched pale skin where a face should be, like someone hadn't finished sculpting it. And then, in a voice that was almost human, it spoke. "Did you see where it went?" My spine went to ice. It wasn't talking to me. It was asking about something else. I backed out of the store. Didn't go back inside. Didn't turn off the pumps. Didn't lock the doors. I called the sheriff. He drove out, checked the place, found nothing but a half-stocked shelf, a running register, and a car that had burned out its engine from idling. They asked why I ran. I didn't answer. I quit the next morning. But here's what I still think about every damn night. If that thing in the store was searching for something, where is it now? My name is Aaron Blake. I was 26 in 2017, working nights at St. Laurel's Medical Center in Tacoma, sub-level security rotation, mostly morgue duty. It was supposed to be easy money. A dead building beneath a dying hospital. June 14th. Rain outside, but humid inside. The kind of night everything felt damp. Even my uniform. The elevator down to the basement rattled like it was nervous to take me there. The morgue always smelled like disinfectant and metal and something old. But that night, something else had crept in. Wet soil. Fresh soil. The smell of the earth right after you break it open. It didn't belong inside a sterile hospital. The cameras were glitching. The hall lights flickered. I could hear the hum of the refrigeration units. Steady, cold, reliable. But underneath them was a sound that didn't fit. Something dragging. Slow. Heavy. Like someone was pulling a full body bag across the tile. Nobody was scheduled. Nobody was supposed to be here. I checked the log. Last body rolled in at 11:15 p.m. Stroke. Male. 54. Dead on arrival. That body hadn't moved since, except something had moved. When I opened the autopsy room door, the overhead lights were off, just the red glow of the emergency panel. The cold in the room hit me like stepping into a freezer. One metal drawer was open. Not fully. Just halfway, like someone pulled it out, got distracted, and left. That smell, it was pouring from that drawer. Soil. Wet earth. Something buried too recently. My flashlight flickered. Then died. No footsteps. No voices. Just the slow, wet sound of breathing. The sheet over the body rose and fell. Slow. Steady. Impossible. That man had been dead for 7 hours. I took one step back. Just one. And my radio crackled. Static at first. Then a voice, low and distant, like it was coming from under 6 feet of dirt. Close it. My pulse wasn't fast. It was silent. Like my heart skipped the part where it beats. I leaned forward. The sheet began to slide. Not torn. Not jerked. It lifted. Like someone underneath was pushing it away. I saw his face, or something wearing his face. The skin was gray, but soft, like it hadn't finished stiffening. The eyes weren't human eyes anymore. Too open. Too black. The mouth hung slightly open, but he wasn't gasping for air. He was letting something breathe through him. And then, that same voice. But now it came from the thing on the table, without the lips moving. "We are not finished." I slammed the drawer shut so hard I split my palm on the edge. I locked it, ran, didn't write a report, didn't tell a soul. 2 days later, the body was gone. But they said no one signed it out. No one moved it. No record of transfer. No record it was ever stored at all. The hospital shut down that wing the year after. Budget cuts, they said. But here's the thing I still can't shake. If I shut the drawer, who opened it again?